Well, happy Tuesday evening, everybody. We're so happy to have you joining us tonight. I am Tracey Flintoff, and I'm coming to you from the Seattle, Washington area. And my absolute awesome
Muted you. I'm sorry. He was just calling me awesome and I muted her on purpose.
Oops, was I muted?
There you go. Yeah, you were muted.
Oh, how did that happen? Oh, that's weird. I hit record and it muted me. Okay. Well, happy Tuesday, guys. We are back and we've got the sound on. So lots of good stuff to talk about and share. So we definitely want you to hear it. And my name is Tracey Flintoff, and this is Cami Brecto, and we're going to tag team this tonight and share with you. And we've got some really cool things to share with you. And I've been gone for a little bit, so I just want to thank Cami so much for keeping everything rolling and doing such a fantastic job on everything. I got my son checked into college. I got my mom out of the hospital. And because of this little thing right here that I'm wearing, hopefully you can see my patch right here. I have my mom. This saved my mom's life. And the neurologist, we were all certain my mom had a stroke. And at 3 a.m. after an MRI, the neurologist said, I don't understand what I'm looking at, but your mom has a very young brain. She has the brain of about, I'd say, a 30-year-old. My mom's 79. She smokes. She doesn't take care of herself. These patches, I'm telling you, she's been wearing them for 2 years, combination of them. So this can do so much more than any of us can ever know, but I'm eternally grateful and a little emotional. So it's truly my pleasure and my passion to share this with other people. So it's just what we do.
And Tracey, what patch is that you're wearing on your chest?
This particular one, I'm wearing glutathione.
Okay.
Today. I've been doing a little bit of traveling, and there's some of this little bug in the air I keep hearing certain people getting. So I just thought, I think I'm going to pop that on. But
is that where you wear it normally?
I rotate that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to rotate that. But we'll go ahead and get started with our presentation. And I promise I won't cry on you. But I am more and more in love with these all the time. I just have to tell you, it's just when you know what we know. So what we're going to talk about tonight is reversing aging and naturally. And my computer has just decided to take over and advance on through here. Hang on 1 minute. There we go. So we're talking about the power of the patch. And so I've already kind of given it away a little bit here, what I have on my chest. There's a variety of them, and we'll talk more about what these do, but very powerful. It's a tool for our body. It's an all-natural thing. But what we're talking about is a smart new technology. It's allowing your body to repair itself and help us turn back the hands of time. But Cami and I want to share with you a disclaimer, really important, because we are not medical professionals and we're not going to be diagnosing or treating any medical conditions. And what we're talking about tonight is a holistic wellness product in the FDA category. And as always, you'd want to work with your doctor regarding any issues you might be dealing with. And but what we're talking about is light, and light has been used for thousands of years by practitioners around the world. Red light therapy, blue light therapy, infrared sauna, MRIs, lasers, all sorts of things. Those are all harnessing the power of light. And why light? The beauty of light is it's non-transdermal, which means nothing goes into our skin. So we don't have to worry about drug interactions, any chemicals. Light is directly communicating with our cells. Just like when you go out in the sunshine and that sun tells your body to produce vitamin D3, very similar to that whole biological process in our body. But there's no dosing that you have to worry about, no medication side effects. But what we're talking about, X39, is a patented form of phototherapy, but it's wearable. So the nice thing about it is when we do wear it on the body, and you can wear it anywhere on your body, honestly, there's no wrong place to wear it. We do have some places that might give you a little quicker result or help with a specific issue. But the beautiful thing about the X39 is it is raising your own GHK copper peptide, which is really the fountain of youth. But it's body heat activated. It's reflecting our own low-level infrared light right back into the body at different angles so that it's communicating to make the body do different things. And some of you who haven't heard this before, I always find it very intriguing that when we have a jaundiced baby and they have that yellow tinted skin from toxins because their liver hasn't turned on yet, how does the whole world help that jaundiced baby? They put them in the sunshine, right? So pretty great. And that's what this is doing with our body, just helping to turn different peptides on and pathways. And we wear these for 12 hours on, 12 hours off. So we're simulating that, circadian rhythm of day and night. And we have to drink a lot of water. That's a really big, important thing. This is our amazing genius inventor and CEO, David Schmidt. And he's been working on these for many years. And it took him 10 years in the labs after he introduced the first patch to come up with this one. The X39 is his proudest development, and it is patented, and a lot of good information out there on that GHK copper peptide and it helping to bring back our dormant repair and master cells. That can really make a difference. And it's really the holy grail. And what it does for skin and hair is just really amazing. And we're going to show you some pictures of this so you can see here shortly. But it helps with fine lines, wrinkles, thickens older skin, brings back collagen, does really great things for skin and hair. But the lung protection, pretty amazing. This is helping with healthy lung function and protecting lung cells from damage. Really important. Especially as we age and going into the flu and cold season. It's perfect time to be using this like I am today. And GHK with brain and nerves, it does so much to help reconnect, help with the neuronal function. It reduces stress and anxiety and does a lot of good things. And it really is used readily for spinal cord repair. We'll show you a picture of that here in just a little bit. Pretty fantastic what it does for anti-fast growing cells. There's a lot of information out there and pretty fantastic things that this is doing internally in the body to help prevent the reproduction of those cells that are fast growing and doing damage in the body. But what I love the most is at the bottom here is it resets 84 genes that inhibit the growth of those fast growing cells. So who doesn't want to do that? If you can reset genes, that's called gene whispering. It's a real thing. Just absolutely amazing. But the GHK is also a very powerful antioxidant, and it really helps with superoxide dismutase, if anyone's familiar with that. They used to think you had to eat lots of broccoli to get that, but it can actually bring it back with the power of your own body's response to this patch. And helps block the oxidization in our body. So if you know what an apple looks like when you cut it, it's fresh and beautiful. But if you let it sit out there in the air, it gets that kind of rusty looking look to it. That's the oxidization, and that happens in our body. But this is helping to reverse that. So that GHK, when it is elevated in our body, it helps our body to bring back and repair stem cells. So what is a stem cell? That is created when an egg and a sperm meet in utero. And that is what creates that healthy growing baby. And it is the cells, the individual little cells that grow that baby over 9 months. And that baby is born with a multitude of these cells that keep that baby healthy and repairing quickly and regenerating and, having a great healthy life. But the sad reality is around age 30, 35, we start losing these, and we lost about half of them by the age of 35. And this little chart shows you that rapid decline. When we have that newborn, they're just full of them. And then from age 1 to 12, we've lost a lot. And by the age 60, we've got less than 10%. They say around age 80, maybe down to about 2-3%. So that's real problematic. And that's why maybe we don't heal like we used to or bounce back. And you've probably heard in media, and maybe some friends of your own have had stem cell injections. And prior to this company, that was really the only option we had to help our bodies regenerate and repair, was injecting somebody else's DNA into our body. The reality is the best stem cells are not available here in America. We're really forced to go out of country. Tony Robbins, I know, recently spent $35,000 on an injection in his shoulder down in Panama. Germany, Greece. They're very expensive. They're not always effective. It is somebody else's DNA. But what we're going to talk about tonight is how to get your own stem cells to repair and prevent. And that is by the GHK copper peptide that's elevated through the X39, bringing back your own. Pretty fantastic. It's patented. It's the only company you'll be able to get something like this from. And it is, again, body heat activated and reflecting your own low-level infrared light back. And you might be wondering, what is this low-level infrared light? I don't know what light you're talking about, but you can't really see it to the naked eye. But if you watch crime drama shows on TV, you've probably seen night vision goggles, and you see that outline around somebody. That is the light that these are reflecting. Where we place these patches is based on acupressure points, working on our meridians of the body. So that's the way energy flows. And in Chinese medicine, they call it the qi. And so blocked qi is pain. But when we unblock the qi and we get the energy flowing, that pain resides, or subsides, I should say. And that's what the patches do very similarly. But this is our very dear friend, Marcy Preble. This picture of her in 2019 was her after she'd gone through chemo and radiation, dealing with her own fast-growing cells. And she was a really sick lady. She was waiting for the end of her days and really thought that they were coming near. Lucky for her, though, her naturopath gave her 10 X39. And look at how beautiful she is. I mean, every time I see her, she looks better and better. But on day 1 and 2, the chemo started coming out through her mouth. Her skin on her hands became really soft. And on day 10, she got a new zest for life and a new energy. And she decided, you know what? I'm not letting this take me out. I think this has given me the energy and the strength to overcome it. And she's been in remission now for well over 3 years. And she's made it her goal in life to share this with the world, because she might not be here without this. And it's pretty fantastic. But I'm going to turn the screen over to Cami now and have Cami introduce our testimonials.
Yay, I'm so excited. Well, I do have Kathleen. I called last minute and asked her if she would share for us. So I know for a leadership retreat. So I'm going to honor her time and ask you to go first, Kathleen, if you don't mind.
Perfect. Great. Thank you, Cami. And what a wonderful presentation, Tracey. That's awesome. So my name is Kathleen Nichols, and Cami invited me here to share a story. I actually have my own testimonial, but tonight I'm going to tell you why I share the patches, which would be the results that my daughter received. So Sienna Lene, she just turned 19 yesterday. But at the time she was 13, and she was a golden girl, you know, star athlete, star singer, star dancer, straight A, she name it, she was a golden girl. And so what happened is she had a horrible trauma. And then directly after that, she lost one of her best friends. So basically, you know, back-to-back horrible traumas that were life draining, and they sent her from the bright light that she was into complete and total darkness. She crashed into a black hole. She hated herself. She hated the world. She hated me. She did not want to be here anymore. She was diagnosed with PTSD, anxiety, and depression, of course. A's went to F's. She withdrew from everything. It was extremely concerning. It was terrifying. It was the worst 6 months of our life. And this was a little over 5 years ago, or about 4.5 years ago. So at any rate, I've got a clinical psychology degree. I'm in the healing arts. I couldn't do anything. We brought her to all the specialists. We didn't do medication. We did not do that, but we tried every type of, healing modality possible, and it just wasn't getting any better. And she was actually contemplating exiting the planet on a Tuesday night. And so we became aware of that, and we were able to keep her safe that night. And the next morning we got the patches. So talk about divine intervention. I put the patch on her that morning. It was a Wednesday morning. And granted, I didn't know they were going to do anything for her. LifeWave had not published any of their mental and emotional studies yet. So I just put it on her because, I'm eating half the orange. I give my daughter the other half of the orange. Zero idea it was going to help her. So we go from Tuesday night wanting her to exit to Wednesday morning receiving the patches, put them on her. First 5 days, the cloud starts to lift, and she literally, it was a palpable black cloud that this girl walked around with. So within 5 days, the cloud started to lift. 10 days, she starts, washing her hair, clean clothes, engaging with friends. So it gets me emotional. And at 3.5 weeks, we had gone to Oregon for Christmas. And there was my beautiful girl dancing and laughing and singing at the top of her lungs. We were playing ping pong together. And it took me a second, honestly, to realize I was observing and witnessing my daughter on who she had been prior to these traumas that had changed her life. In the moment that I realized that, I burst out crying. She actually runs around the table, grabs my hand, and says, "Mama, you have no idea how different I feel in my body." And I was like, well, actually I do. I can see it. And, talk about an amazing Christmas present, because my whole family had been on, of course, pins and needles, because everybody was so highly concerned about her health and her well-being. And then there she was. And that was a little over 4.5 years ago. So that was at Christmas. She promptly got back into dance in January. She graduated 3 years later with straight A's, and she excelled in dancing so much to where she got into one of the best dance schools in New York City, and went there for a while. She since has decided that she doesn't want to do dance, but basically it saved my daughter's life. The rest of that story actually is about 3 weeks after that happened for Sienna Lene. Then LifeWave published what they call the brain mapping study, which says, guess what, guys? It's going to balance your brain. It's going to balance your left hemisphere, your right hemisphere, and it's going to relieve the symptoms of PTSD, anxiety, depression, Asperger's, ADHD, etc. But of course, the 3 words that caught my attention were PTSD, anxiety, and depression. And I said, wow, there was a mic drop. That's what happened for my daughter. And that's why I share the patches to this day, because of how it saved my daughter's life.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Don't make me cry. When Tracey started out kind of emotional, I was like, oh no.
Yeah. That's when you have something like this in a story like that, it's like, how can you not share it? I mean, I just want to tell the world, because how many lives can it save, So thank you so very, very much. Kathleen, you're welcome. You just hang out with us as long as you can. We love you and appreciate you. And thank you for sharing.
Thanks
your
for being here,
story.
Kathleen.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, Ms. Carol. I met Carol a few months ago, and it's just been an honor to walk alongside her. And she comes up and asks me questions and tells me new things, and I'm pretty excited to hear your story, Carol.
Yeah, I mean, I have kind of 2 things that I had going on. One is chronic, and the other one was a more recent injury. So I don't know if you can see my scar here, but in January I was running and slipped on something, and I basically projected myself into the wall and dislocated my shoulder and shattered my arm, and I had to have surgery. So I've got a plate and 13 screws here, holding it together. But the biggest part really for my recovery was my shoulder, because when it dislocated, it just pulled everything out and stretched it. And 6 months later, I was still, after physical therapy twice a week for months, I was still not completely able to lift my arm, and I had quite a bit of pain. It was keeping me awake. And so I came to one of Cami's parties at Tracey's house, and she put a patch on me. She put the X39 on my here on my neck, and put a Aeon patch on my shoulder. And by the time I got home, I was showing my husband how my arm was just, going straight up with no catch, and no pain. And before, you could tell I could only lift it like this high. And just, putting the patch on, it was like there was nothing wrong with it anymore. I still have some tightness. I still have some work to do on it, but it's definitely made a big difference, and I can sleep again, which is nice. And then for my chronic condition, I had back surgery 8 years ago, fusion. And unfortunately, while they were in there, they damaged the nerve. And so I have neuropathy in my feet. And so I basically have chronic pain 24 hours a day. And anywhere from, I wake up to probably a level 2. And sometimes by the end of the day, I'm at a 6 or an 8. And so that evening she put 2 of the pain patches, well, I guess 4, right? Because they come in a set of 2, on my foot, like above my big toe, and on my shin. And by the time I got home, I didn't have pain in my feet. And and I've had pain for 8 years. So it was a blessing.
Absolutely.
Beautiful blessing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I thank Cami
Yeah.
for sharing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's against my religion to keep people or let my friends not know, like to just allow my friends to be in pain.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm kind of
dear.
that way too.
Thank you so much, Carol. That's a huge, wow. Big stuff. I remember you sharing that your mobility, like it was measurable at physical therapy the next day. So that was huge.
Yeah, I think they measured the week prior, and I forget what the numbers were, but it was like a 60%. Or no, what was it? Gosh, I forget what the numbers were, but it was like a 60% range. And the next day, a week later, the next day after putting the patch on, it was at like a 90%. So to have that kind of change, I didn't test it that day, but had tested it the week before and had tested it, weekly for several weeks before, and was just showing that very slow improvement, but that 1 week was an obvious jump. And the only difference was the patch. So I can't contribute it to anything other than that. So
that's awesome. Ah, cool.
And I saw in the chat, somebody asked a question. Do you continue the patches on your feet? I actually have run out of the patches, so I need to put in an order for the pain patches, but I am still using the X39 and the Aeon, which continues to help with my shoulder. And yeah, I just need to put a new patch order in.
Very good. Excellent.
I won't let myself run out again.
Yeah.
We love that monthly subscription for that, because
yeah,
I'm kind of forgetful on those too. So it's pretty cool. They have let you set it up and set it and forget it kind of thing. But there's
Yeah.
another cool tool, and I think Cami will put this in chat if you'd like to download it, and it's called a health tracker. And it's a really nice tool that we didn't have when we got started, and I wish I had had it, because I had it, in addition to putting down my brain fog, my hot flashes, my falling out hair, my paper thin fingernails, I would have written down that I had a giant bunion on my left foot that needed to be surgically removed, because I'd had it removed on my right foot. I grew up in ice skates and ski boots, and it was very painful, always in pain, and it ruined all my shoes. They looked terrible. But I didn't have that health tracker, and I didn't realize that my bunion went away. And when you're working at the cellular level of change, like these patches do, it can be a little slow and you may not notice things happening. There's no neon light. Hey, wake up, lady, your bunion's gone. It wasn't till 9 months in that a friend asked me if these would help her bunion because they wanted to do the horrible surgery I swore I'd never do again. And I said, bunion? Oh my gosh, I don't have any more pain. I took off my shoes and we looked at my feet, and both of my feet are identical. One had a surgically removed bunion. The other was Mother Nature taking out inflammation and realigning. Pretty amazing. Another thing I would have written on my health tracker is that I'd been on levothyroxine. It's really good to write down your prescriptions and work closely with your doctors, because at 4.5 months, my hot flashes returned with a vengeance. And I went to my MD doctor who knew about these because I'd shared them with him. And I told him, I don't think those patches are working anymore. My hot flushes are worse than ever. My brain is stupid again. I want to go back to like I was. And he laughed and he said, oh, no, no. Those patches know what they're doing. And those cells in your body, especially those repair cells, they have the ability to repair and regenerate. I suspect your thyroid is regenerated and you're probably over medicated on levothyroxine. I've been on it for 15 years. And lo and behold, yes, the blood work confirmed that. We weaned me off, and within 3 weeks, that was, about 2 years ago right now. I haven't used that prescription. Yay. I don't use any prescriptions. So do use that health tracker. It is such a great tool. Just kind of helps you check in with yourself and realize what's going on. There's a really good website too that we all like to refer people to called startx39now.com, because you might have a friend struggling with something right now and you don't have the foggiest. How on earth am I going to say all this stuff that Tracey and Cami did? Here's the beautiful thing. You don't have to. The website does it all for you. There are videos on here. There's also a QR code if you want to snap that, but StartX39 now. There's some great doctor videos here. I just love this cardiologist. I learned a lot from him. The acupuncture doctor is the one I learned that these patches are very similar to acupuncture, but no needles. It's all about movement of energy, energy flow in the body. But take a listen to some of them. I love the patent section, the clinical trials. That's where I sent my doctor to, and he was pretty impressed. There's over 90 clinical trials. The age reversal with GHK, that is where you're going to find all that goodness that I was sharing earlier about hair, skin, anti-fast growing cells. But they have a cardiovascular study on there. And after an average of about 6 weeks of wearing X39, they reduce their cardiovascular age on average 8 weeks. So that really, for every day you wear X39, that means your cardiovascular system is going backwards about a day and a third younger. Who doesn't want that? There's some pretty fantastic stories. But these patches were originally developed for the U.S. Navy SEALs down in San Diego 20 years ago. And word got out in the athletic world, and Michael Phelps was one of the first ones to really give these a big name. You might remember him in Beijing winning a lot of medals. He was wearing these patches, along with 335 of our other athletes. But Serena and Venus Williams love them on their wrists. David Beckham, soccer great, loves them on his chest. They have gone on to help a lot of athletes really achieve high greatness because they're helping you with recovery, endurance, repair. But history was made in 2019 when X39 was created, because it was the first time ever that our repair cells could be reactivated. They're still in our body. They just have gone dormant. These are just some pictures of things that we put together. This is my own husband after a really yucky surgery he had. And this is an overnight reaction response, I should say. improvement. Let's call it that, improvement. Look at how much smaller that incision is, and look at the reduction in bruising. So that's Aeon. You see here on the right picture, that circle, that's right where that Aeon patch is. It's raising a peptide in the liver, pulling out inflammation. This is Carla's dad here, his 90th birthday. He looks much younger than he did a year earlier on the right. This is lady, poor thing, with psoriasis, toxins coming out her skin. And a few months later, detoxifying the body naturally, allowing the body to get the tools, the signaling, like I was saying, like that jaundiced baby, makes a huge difference in our body. Plastic surgeon, he now loves to use these, and he's showing here a difference of a woman, 5 weeks, didn't use her patches. That was his test case, but he used X39 on the next two ladies on the right side, and that's just 10 days after their surgery. I mean, they are on par really with the lady 5 weeks out. So it's helping your body accelerate repair. This poor guy fell in a bee's nest, and look at the difference here. That's 20 minutes after his mom put on X39 and Aeon for him. This is just showing you some accelerated wound healing. This is scar remodeling. This is actually an open heart surgery scar. And that picture on the left is the actual incision. 1 year later is that middle picture. So Mother Nature's healing job is not too shabby, but look at what 1 month adding X39 does. Remodels that scar, helps fill in that divot. This one talked about that spinal cord. So this is bulging discs, and this is show you what collagen, joint lubrication can do. That left-hand image is showing you indentations where that is a degenerative spinal cord. And the bulging disc is actually that black disc between C7 and T1 pushing on the spinal column. And this is the same patient a few months later. That's all regenerated and filled in. And they are living a pain-free, great life. And it's pretty fun when people call you and thank you for that response. This young lady has a curvature of her spine. This is her 4 weeks later using a combination of X39 and LifeWave, a pain blocker patch. Like Carol was talking about, that is an amazing patch. But I love this because you hear a lot in media about anti-aging, especially from all the skincare companies. Everything's anti-aging. And that's great if you're young and you like where you are. But what if you're older and you don't want to be where you are? Because look at Dr. Harmon here on the left. If this was anti-aging, he'd still look like Grandpa Dude today. But instead, because we're dealing with age reversal, he looks like Hot Dude. That's his natural hair color that came back. When you get that collagen back in your body and elevated, your hair gets thicker. And for some people with super clean diet, the hair color can't even return. I don't think I'll ever have that because I don't eat that clean, but that's okay. I got these awesome little secrets that help me maybe be a little naughty every now and then. But this lady here, she goes from looking like grandma to the daughter to now looking like the granddaughter. That's 1 year. Who doesn't want that? I love this lady. Just look at her eyes and the energy. She's just a whole different person. You can tell she feels very vitalized. This is showing you some examples of what collagen and hyaluronic acid, when they come back, what they're capable of. You know, tightening the turkey neck on the neck, filling in around the veins to hide those varicose veins. I mean, gone are the days of having surgery for that. Just put on some patches and let your body do it itself. And changing up the color pigmentation here. This guy's got to have a whole different life now. But we think these are way better than Botox. And I really encourage you not to put botulism, especially in, you know, the angry 11s near that brain. It's just not good. Those are toxins. Don't do it. You can use a combination of patches to change so many things in the body and plump, freshen, tighten. Hormone regulation. So that was me. Darn that I didn't have these when I was younger because I had that on my chin for many, many years. But this young lady, this is 6 weeks in for her. This is Beamy Casey's grandson's granddaughter, and she had an amazing change. This fellow here, 5 weeks in, look at that thicker hair, and pretty great. This is actually an autoimmune condition, and this poor guy, I can't imagine how he must have been living that first phase of him using the X39, but look at him after 1 year. Cami and I kept debating. I was sure these were two different people, but they're not. They're the same guy. Just
Same guy.
I know, it's just blows my mind. But this one I think is really cool because this lady is going through radiation treatments And that can really hurt. It's not only unsightly, but it is painful. And I know people who've gone through it, but you can see her friend brings her a patch and look at her in, less than 3 weeks there. That is so improved. She looks so much better and happier. But look at her here, June 30th. She is absolutely beautiful. I think her hair's thickening up here too, but that's a changed life. And probably a changed life to maybe never have to go through that radiation again too. This is that study that Kathleen was talking about, the brain mapping. And what we're showing here in session 1, that first little circle with the orange and the red, is the heat in this lady's brain. She's a 77-year-old woman, and this is a heat mapping EEG. So we don't want heat in our brain. That really, think of swelling. And if you have swelling on blood vessels, that just slows down the blood flow, and that's just not great for our cognition. But they came back 3 weeks later after she started wearing just the X39, one patch, 12 hours on, 12 hours off, consistently. And here she is in session 2. And look at how her body has changed and managed to get out that inflammation. The body is designed pretty remarkably to repair itself. This is a tool helping the body perform at its peak. 3 weeks later, now a total of 6 weeks, those two hemispheres are back in balance. 80-20 is a perfectly balanced brain. She has a changed life, and I love her story, but that helps with our memory, our focus, our cognition, but it also is helping with, all the things that Kathleen described too, the mental, emotional health. But I love that these are not just for our human friends. These are also for our fur babies. And who doesn't want to keep our fur babies healthy and vibrant as long as we can? So this dog on the left is my dear friend Terry's dog. He's 14-year-old black lab with terrible arthritis, and she had bought patches from me. And I said, hey, Terry, don't throw away your old patches. I've been hearing about people putting them on their dog's bed, used patches, or even on the inside of their pet collar, because they have cells in their body too. And I knew he had pain from arthritis. And I said, I'd even heard of a dog in Japan that sees again now from blindness of cataracts with diabetes. And she looked at me and she said, well, do you know Brutus went blind just a few months ago? I didn't know. This is Brutus, December 21st is a picture on the left, no pupil, blind dog in horrendous arthritic pain, who just lived on his little pet bed all day and all night. She'd have to pull him out with the leash to make him out and take him out for the evening stroll. And this is 1 week later. Look at the difference in his eyes, the pupil, the brown, and he started following her around the house, and she doesn't have to pull him outside for the evening strolls any longer. He takes himself back out the doggy door because he can find it. So that's a changed life. I've gone on to have so many people tell me their pet stories, and I don't know why the pet ones make me cry, but she and I bawled that day. But they've been using these on racehorses for a while, quite a while. Just does such a great thing. But I'm going to share one more thing because I've learned, and sadly, our company can't tell us a lot of the things that these can do. I'm kind of investigator. I have to know more. I have to understand. So I happened to find this image on Google, playing around looking for things on GHK. This happens to be a molecular biologist. And that's talking about that GHK helping to break down fat cells. And then I stumbled upon a very smart doctor, Dr. Velvet, a metaphysician, and she was talking about utilizing these 4 patches in a sequence on the gut to help her patients that she's helping to treat. And she's been treating depression, anxiety, and PTSD and all sorts of things through diet and nutraceuticals for years. And then along come these patches. So she decided she'd try them. She lost 33 inches in the first 18 days of wearing these 4 patches on her stomach. So what it's doing is it's helping to repair gut imbalance, detoxifying, taking out inflammation, balancing an endocrine system. That's that SP6 patch works on our hypothalamus. And that's where the craving center comes from in our brain. So if you're one of those that craves, cookies like me, it's a really great patch. It's one of my favorites. But we tried this out on my bonus daughter. This is her at our house last summer. And she was really a sick girl and really struggling. She was at her lowest of lows, dealing with a lot of the same things that Kathleen's daughter was. And I said, you know what? Let's try these. I have all 4 patches. We could start tomorrow. And she lost 35 pounds in 18 days. And it's just changed her life. And this is really not a weight loss type of tool. It's more about gut health And when your gut is healthy, you absorb your nutrients. Your nutrients go in the bloodstream to your brain. That's what makes a happy brain. And they're discovering the gut-brain balance and how important that really is. So this is her in December. She is back to her beautiful, happy self, sleeping, calmer, confident by April. Now, mind you, she's only done this system 2 times, the 18-day. She does use other patches, and she can't live without them, especially X39 and Aeon are her 2 favorites. But she's now lost 70 pounds, and she is just living a much better life. But I'm going to turn this over to Cami now, and she's going to walk you through our patch review.
Fantastic. Well, I'm happy to share. And Tracey is my Vanna while she's doing the slides for me. So thank you so much. X39 is mostly what we've been talking about tonight. That is what causes your body to make that GHK copper peptide. And all of the amazing that copper peptide does for you. I did put a flyer in the chat if you wanted to download that about the bullet points of the copper peptide. So in case you want to study some more, it's amazing. And the X39 also helps your body create a copper peptide, alanine copper peptide, which is really good for your brain, your muscles, your bones, and it also helps with your protect your body from electromagnetic fields. Retail for these 2 packs of patches, a 30-day supply, is $149. And honestly, when you're talking about the change that we've been talking about, that sounds like a screaming deal to me. But of course, we love to help people get better pricing than that. And wholesale, these packs is $100 or $99.95. Then we have what we call the support packs. Our favorite combination is Aeon and X39. Aeon helps you reduce inflammation. And then the X39 sends those cells to repair anything. You don't have to know what's wrong. Your body knows, and it goes to repair things. So that is a great combination. You feel results quickly and quickly, and it's pretty amazing. So Aeon is for inflammation, and if you lead a stressful life, highly recommend it. Carnosine is very important for your brain, your muscles, and your heart, cardiovascular system, and it helps your brain detox from aluminum, I have heard. Really good for cognition and sugar issues, blood sugar issues. Glutathione is really a master antioxidant. It goes after those bugs and germs and cells that your body starts to see as a problem, recognizes as a problem in your body. And it helps your liver to detox. So, and all of these patches are signaling your body with light. They don't have any substances in the patches. And there's LifeWave on the other screen that has your 2-patch system that helps you feel no pain when you can find the right placement on the patch, on the body. So the LifeWave is a wonderful addition. Like that's what I was using on her feet, and to help the nerves that are barking that pain message to the brain, it kind of disrupts that message. So next we have the energy enhancer, and this is the granddaddy of them all. This is what was developed 20 years ago to help the Navy SEALs have more energy naturally with no crash. It signals your cells, your mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell, to burn fat as fuel. And you can burn up to an extra 300 to 600 calories a day. And it helps your chi, it helps move your lymphatic system, or your fluid around your body. It's really helpful. Silent nights triggers your body to make melatonin, really helps you get a good night's sleep. And the SP6, that tells your hypothalamus how the hypothalamus of your brain, like Tracy said, it reduces your cravings, and then it helps your thyroid function, your pancreas function, kidneys. The studies on the effects of this are pretty amazing. And that's why it's part of those 3 patches that we like to help people restore their gut function. So the support patches that we've been talking about, including the aloe vera that we'll talk about in a second, though retail for these is $79.95, and that's for a 30-day supply. Just keep in mind that the energy enhancer and the ice wave are a 2-patch system. So if you, that's 15 applications because all packs have 30 patches. But we will help you get them as low as $49.95. First, you can do that by ordering a wholesale pack. And then in the future, if you order 3 or more and we could mix and match, you can get it as low as $9.95 as wholesale pricing. Aloe vera is quickly becoming one of my favorite patches. X39 will probably always be my favorite, but aloe vera I have a new respect for. It does so many wonderful things. And it helps your brain and cognition, helps words restore, helps your skin, helps your body with cartilage and collagen, and reduces oxidative stress. So this is a timeline of what you can expect. Within the first few days, your genes start to reset to a younger state. So that's pretty amazing. And then as the longer you use them, the benefits start to become more cumulative almost. You just start seeing, noticing more and more things. That's why we like you to have that timeline or have that list of health complaints, and you keep notes for yourself, because it's some things may surprise you. I lost my Tracy. Next slide, please. There she is.
Eric came in the door, sorry.
No worries.
Trying to tame the
Awesome.
barking dog and the noisy husband.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, the silver kit is a wonderful wholesale package. So this is how we offer the wholesale pricing to you. You can pay a $25 fee for the first time and then order what you like at the pricing, but that doesn't necessarily get you the best pricing on the support packs. We love to help you with these kits, no fee, and 100% of this money goes to patches. And we love to work with people and help them with their concerns and desires, and help them pick out the best, because sometimes it can be overwhelming. By no means do we want to overwhelm you. We want to make this easy. So we recommend a silver kit typically for 1 person, a gold kit for a couple, and a diamond kit for a really large family, or someone's really looking to start a business, or I work with chiropractors and clinic type situations, most therapists, where they have this on hand for their clients. And so that is a great way to go, the diamond kit. We do recommend that you use the X39 for every decade that you've been alive. There is a 30-day money back guarantee, and by all means, use it if you want to. I haven't had people return patches. Well, I take that back. In my 2 years of 1 person return the patch, it's not common, because people are usually thrilled with the patches, or they're willing to take this on and go, okay, 1 month for every decade, and then they watch their health concerns just, their health continuing to get better and better. So this is where we recommend that you get back to the person who invited you to this call. Have not purchased patches before, or you can stay on and we can help you build that pack. We recommend that you try X39 and Aeon a fair shake as a minimum of 90 days, at least X39 and Aeon for 90 days, or X39 for a month for every decade you've been alive is a fair assessment. And again, you can just keep coming back, learning more, bring your friends, and that's a great way that we can help you share this, especially with all of these friends and family members that we hear need this. How many lives can we save sharing this, bringing them to this information? We have ways to learn more, not just this call, but almost every night of the week. We have podcasts that we can invite people to. So here tonight, we invite you to join Marcy's call tomorrow at 4 p.m. This would be a great way if you get excited tonight and you want to bring somebody to this information and you don't want to wait until Tuesday at 6 p.m. next week. We have many options, but tomorrow is a great way to invite them to come to listen to this. And you can reach this, and I'll put this in the chat. If you go to thepatching.com, then you will see the links for these calls. And so you have that resource at your fingertips, and you don't have to miss a beat. So here is where Tracey and I are here to help you every Tuesday night. That's a picture of her and I at convention last year. And we're thrilled and excited to go to convention in October this year and hear the new technology that's coming out. But from now on, we're open for questions, and we will happily answer your questions and help you build your packs if you haven't already done that. This is a great thing to share and bring friends to, and then you earn a thank you check for sharing. So if you purchase a wholesale pack, you have the opportunity to share this and have LifeWave do you a thank you check. It's a pretty easy way to pay for your patches, or just add a little extra for your gas money. So So anyways, what I figured out what I want to be when I get older, and that is younger. I'm pretty excited about my future. So open for questions. If any of you have any questions. Hi, Pam. Thanks for coming.
I'll stop the recording now. Thank you everyone for joining us. We're going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then we'll go into our next session to help answer questions.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Please
We'll
raise
see you
your
next
hand if you have it.
Tuesday night. And remember,
Yes.
start x39now.com. That's the website with all the good stuff. Have a great week. Bye-bye.